Welcome to IE News Week in Review. Special welcome to all our viewers who follow us on our website www.ietvtt.com and our social media pages. Thank you for joining us. In our top story this week, Dominic Hadid and his wife were detained in late June in connection with an alleged plot to murder government officials. They challenged their detention and on Thursday were granted interim relief by the appeal court while their legal challenge to their preventative detention orders was being determined. However, the state sought an emergency hearing on this matter. Late on Thursday night, an appeal court panel, including Chief Justice Ronnie Boodoo Singh, stayed the earlier decision to release them and granted leave for the state to appeal to the Privy Council. As a consequence, the duo will remain in prison, and a full hearing has been scheduled to determine whether the stay should remain in effect pending the Privy Council proceedings. 10 more people have been detained under the Emergency Powers Regulations 2026 with the detention orders alleging links to organized crime groups and involvement in violent criminal activity, including robberies, shootings, and other offenses. The preventative detention orders were issued by Minister of Homeland Security Roger Alexander between July 8th and July 13th. The orders provide for detention of the 10 men at the Eastern Correctional Rehabilitation Center in Santa Rosa, Arima, or any other location directed by the minister. The Caribbean and the cricket world are in mourning following the death of Sir Garfield Sobers at 89. Sir Garfield's international career with the West Indies spanned 20 years from 1954 to 1974. One of his most celebrated achievements came in 1958 when at just 21 years old, he scored an unbeaten 365 against Pakistan in Kingston, Jamaica. The innings established a new world record for the highest individual score in Test cricket, a mark that stood for 36 years before it was surpassed by fellow West Indian Brian Lara in 1994. He was also the first cricketer to hit 6 sixes in one over. Here is more from his remarkable history.
Batter, seamer, spinner, and a fantastic fielder. Sobers had it all. Born in Barbados, he made his first-class debut aged 16, then his Test debut just a year later against England in 1954. He went on to represent West Indies over an international career that lasted 20 years. Sobers also amassed over 7,000 first-class runs for Nottinghamshire in the county championship and took 281 wickets. Against Pakistan in 1958, Sobers scored his maiden Test century before going on to score 365 not out, a new record for the highest individual score in Test cricket. Well, that record stood until 1994, when Brian Lara hit 375 against England, with Sobers embracing him in Antigua. Well, Sobers will forever be associated with the astonishing feat he achieved in 1968 at Glenmorgan's St Helens ground, where he became the first batsman to hit 6 sixes in an over in first-class cricket. Well, Sobers was knighted by Queen Elizabeth II in 1975 for his services to cricket.
In other news, the government's commitment to supporting vulnerable families continued on Wednesday, July 15, 2026, as the Ministry of the People, Social Development and Family Services delivered disaster general assistance and home repair grants valued at $651,309.54 to 59 households across the Sangre Grande region. Addressing recipients, the Honorable Vandana Mohit, Minister of the People, Social Development and Family Services, reaffirmed the government's commitment to ensuring that vulnerable families receive timely assistance during difficult times, noting that every grant reflects the ministry's continued commitment to improving the lives of those most in need. We now pause for a moment. More news when we return.
Perfection doesn't happen by chance. Like an artist, the cook selects the main ingredient, one that is worthy of a proud cultural tradition. Trusted to enhance your creations with its richness and versatility. To create a cooking masterpiece, the secret is simple. The brand we know, the brand we trust, the brand our ancestors have been using for generations.
There is only one pure cow brand ghee. Look for the marks of authenticity.
Tile Expressions Limited, as one of the largest importers of tiles, offers an extensive range of high-quality tiles in ceramic, porcelain, granite, stone, and mosaic options. Additionally, we offer a variety of tile accessories and bathroom sets to complement any decor style. We are committed to providing exceptional customer service and swift delivery of all products. From indoor and outdoor tiles to bathroom sets and tile accessories, we have curated a range that caters to both traditional and modern taste. Lampus 13, Ajudha Road, Munro Road, Canopio. Call 223-8453.
Welcome back. Recently, Senator Professor Emeritus the Honorable Prakash Prasad, Minister of Tertiary Education and Skills Training, met with representatives of the University of the West Indies and the University of Trinidad and Tobago for a strategic collaborative meeting focused on the commercialization of research and innovation and expanding outreach initiatives. The discussions explored opportunities to strengthen partnerships between the ministry and the nation's tertiary institutions, ensuring that research, innovation, and academic expertise translate into real-world impact for citizens, communities, and industry. By fostering closer collaboration, the Ministry of Tertiary Education and Skills Training continues to advance a more innovative, entrepreneurial, and knowledge-driven economy, one where ideas are transformed into opportunities and higher education serves as a catalyst for national development. Trinidad and Tobago, in other news, signed 3 memorandum of understanding with United States organizations recently. Under the leadership of the Honorable Prime Minister Kamla Prasad Bisesa, the government of the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago executed 3 MOUs with leading United States organizations, establishing frameworks for cooperation across the large-scale data center development, artificial intelligence infrastructure, and the recommissioning of the iron and steel plant at Point Lisas for strategic metals production. The 3 MOUs were signed on behalf of the government by the Honorable Sean Sobers, Minister of Foreign and CARICOM Affairs. The government has entered into an MOU with Ernst & Young to establish a framework for collaboration on the development of large-scale data centers and supporting infrastructure, leveraging EY's Energy to Intelligence platform. The second MOU with Hummingbird AI Holdings establishes a framework for preliminary cooperation, due diligence, and coordination in relation to a proposed 150 megawatt artificial intelligence infrastructure and data center facility. The third MOU with Pinnacle Steel and Vanadium Corporation, which recently completed the acquisition of the iron and steel plant at Point Lisas, establishes a framework for further discussions and due diligence regarding the refurbishment, recommissioning, and operation of the plant. Beyond steel, the facility offers Trinidad and Tobago an opportunity to enter the market for vanadium, a strategic metal used in aerospace and defense applications, including military aircraft. In a related story, Prime Minister Kamla Prasad Bisesa hosted a high-level U.S. delegation at the Diplomatic Center to discuss advancing mutual cooperation. The U.S. group included senior officials from the State Department and the International Development Finance Corporation, who were met by top TNT cabinet ministers. The meeting follows the recent signing of 3 MOUs with U.S. firms for tech and industrial projects worth an estimated US $5 billion. In other news, Minister of Tertiary Education and Skills Training, Professor Emeritus Prakash Prasad, says the government is taking steps to ensure Trinidad and Tobago's workforce remains competitive as artificial intelligence and emerging technologies continue to reshape the global job market. Speaking at a Future Forward event hosted by Paria Fueling Trading Company Limited and the Caribbean Industrial Research Institute, Minister Prasad said the ministry is repositioning the tertiary education and skills training systems to focus on industry-aligned programs, micro-credentials, and flexible learning pathways. He explained that micro-credentials will allow citizens to acquire specialized skills through short courses, with credits stored in a national credit bank that can be accumulated over time and applied towards further qualifications.
We have been actively repositioning our tertiary education skills training system to respond exactly to this challenge. So we are placing emphasis on short cycle industry-aligned training. Like some of this happening here, let's go higher up. Micro-credentials and flexible learning pathways. Micro-credentials is a new term that you can say 10, 15 hours, you do a course, you get some particular skill. We are looking at developing what we call a credit bank, where your credits for that course is stored in the bank, and as you go forward, you can use it as you go on that way.
The minister also revealed that Cabinet has approved stakeholder consultations on a policy to support the implementation of the initiative, adding that work is progressing and further details will be announced in due course. Professor Prasad said discussions are also underway with the Ministry of Education to introduce skills training and STEM education at an earlier age, creating parallel pathways that prepare students for careers in engineering, technology, and other high-demand fields. He said the initiative forms part of the government's broader strategy to equip citizens with the skills needed to thrive in an increasingly technology-driven economy.
We got approval from Cabinet to discuss with stakeholders how we implement that. And up till last week, there was a big international conference in Trinidad on that, and one before that also. So it's in progress, and you'll hear more about that. And in discussions with the Minister of Education, we are looking at a parallel pathway upwards. So some may become economists, but some may become engineers, but you learn STEM and these sort of things from early age. And we're looking at skills training a lot earlier, where we want to integrate fully with the Ministry of Education. So these things are in work that's happening.
You're watching IE News. We'll return after these messages.
Attention all bakers, doubles vendors and roti makers. Try our high-quality bromate-free, all-purpose and whole wheat flour. Low price and conveniently packaged in 2 pounds, 2 kg, 10 kg and 25 kg bags. For wholesale and retail prices, contact Shiklisho Limited at 665-3336 or 480-8715 or visit us at Warrenville, Canoopia. Shiklisho Limited, quality you can trust.
Are you renewing your motor, homeowner or business insurances shortly? Then call Kalyani Limited, agency for Tatil, for a competitive quote. With 2 locations, Todd Street, El Socorro and 5 Rivers, Aruca. Please call us at 221-5051 or 227-5051. Kalyani Limited, agency for Tatil, building relationships exceeding expectations. Welcome back to IE News. We now turn our attention to some crime news. Officers conducting coordinated anti-crime exercises under Operation Resolute Shield 2026 recovered firearms, ammunition, and communication devices during operations in Freeport and Morvant districts between July 15th and 16th, 2026. An anti-crime exercise was conducted in the Freeport district and surrounding areas between 4 p.m. and 6 p.m. on Wednesday, July 15th, in accordance with the operational and strategic plans for 2025-2026 and the emergency powers regulations. Acting on intelligence, officers proceeded to Midway Park, Calcutta, Freeport, where they conducted a search of an open area a short distance from the roadway. The search resulted in the seizure of 2 4-inch PVC pipes containing 2 homemade shotgun barrels and 68 rounds of shotgun cartridges. A separate Operation Resolute exercise involving the NED Gang and Intelligence Unit and the NED Task Force was conducted between 11 p.m. on July 15th and 3 a.m. on July 16, 2026, in the Mova district. Based on further intelligence, officials searched a bushy area at Upper 7th Avenue, Malik, where they recovered a Browning Arms Company firearm, a magazine containing 8 rounds of 9mm ammunition, and 2 handheld walkie-talkies bearing the markings Grival, concealed among tree roots. In other crime news, 11 persons were arrested during the execution of various warrants in the Southern Division, while a quantity of cannabis was seized in the Port of Spain Division during separate Operation Resolute Shield anti-crime exercises. These were conducted this week. The exercise was conducted between 2 p.m. and 8 p.m. on Monday, 13 July 2026, during which officers, with the assistance of personnel of the K9 branch, proceeded to East Dry River, Port of Spain. There, the officers conducted a search of an empty lot of land at Quarry Street, which resulted in the discovery of 2 rectangular packets containing 1.74 kilograms of cannabis. The drug has an estimated street value of $153,000. Meanwhile, at approximately 12:35 a.m. on Tuesday, 14 July 2026, officers at the Tobago Division, acting on intelligence regarding armed individuals in the Signal Hill district, conducted coordinated patrols with members of the Trinidad and Tobago Defense Force. Here is more.
Today, we are happy to announce that around 12:35 a.m. this morning, on today's date, the officers, in collaboration with the Trinidad and Tobago Defense Force, conducted an operation in the Signal Hill, Patience Hill area where 2 high-powered weapons were seized. This also accompanied a quantity of ammunition. We presently have 4 persons in custody in relation to this seizure. I wish to let the public know that the Tobago Division, the officers continue to work hard, and we are focused on our Operation Resolute Shield, which focuses on ground suppression and dismantling of illegal activities around the Tobago space. We are also asking persons to continue to support the TTPS and to share any information that could assist in treating with criminal activity within our space.
Let's take in some messages from our sponsors and then we will return.
Introducing Signature Marine Coatings. We bring you premium marine solutions powered by PPG coatings, including anti-fouling protection, high-grade epoxy systems, fiberglass materials, and complete marine refinishing supplies. Protect, enhance, and maximize the performance of your vessel with products you can trust. Get the finish your vessel deserves. We are located at Tardy Marine Limited in Chagaramas. Call us today at 2900-654 or email at signaturepaints@hotmail.com.
In our lives, there are moments that need to be remembered. Are you hosting a Ramayana Yagya, religious or cultural event or celebration? Would you like to have it aired live on IETV or recorded for playback later? We will air your program on IETV and IE Radio, with your viewers joining locally and internationally. Your family and friends worldwide can view on www.ietvtt.com or listen on ieradiott.com. To make arrangements, call or WhatsApp IETV at 784-9880. Let us record your cherished moments and share it. Welcome back to IE's Major News. Let's now take a look at some international stories with a focus on India and Indonesia relations. We share with you now excerpts of Prime Minister Narendra Modi's visit to Indonesia a few days ago. Prime Minister Narendra Modi arrived in Jakarta to a warm welcome from Indonesian President Prabowo Subianto, marking the start of an important diplomatic visit focused on trade, defense, and cultural cooperation. The trip highlights the growing strategic partnership between India and Indonesia, with a focus also on cultural rejuvenation. Here is more.
As part of his three-nation tour, PM Narendra Modi landed in Jakarta. Signaling the close bilateral ties, he was welcomed at the airport by Indonesian President Prabowo Subianto. Fighter jets from Indonesian Air Force accompanied the PM's plane from the time the PM entered its airspace. He was also received by 4 other ministers, including the Foreign Minister. This marks Prime Minister Modi's first visit since 2018, when both countries elevated their bilateral ties to a comprehensive strategic partnership. It also caps a series of high-level engagements between New Delhi and Jakarta in the last 18 months. For instance, in January 2025, Indonesian President Prabowo Subianto graced India's Republic Day celebrations as the chief guest. On reaching his hotel in Jakarta, PM Modi was warmly greeted by members of the Indian diaspora who chanted slogans like Bharat Mata Ki Jai. Why is this so vital? Indonesia is India's second largest trading partner in the ASEAN region. Bilateral trade has increased from $4.3 billion in 2005-2006 to $28.15 billion in 2024-25. While India is the second largest buyer of coal and largest buyer of crude palm oil from Indonesia, Jakarta imports refined petroleum products, vehicles, steel products and plastics from New Delhi. The defense ties are also in focus, with Indonesia's potential procurement of the BrahMos missile weighing in on this. India's Ministry of External Affairs admitted that discussions are at a preparatory stage. Jointly developed with Russia, BrahMos is India's deadliest supersonic cruise missile with a range of 290 kilometers. It can be launched from land, sea and air platforms. While maintaining supersonic speed, throughout its flight it can carry conventional warheads of up to 200 kilograms. The visit also raises another possibility. Will India seek to patrol the Strait of Malacca, which caters to 1/4 of the global maritime trade? It is worth noting that India showed interest in joining the Malacca Straits Patrol last year. Launched in 2004, this initiative entails joint patrolling of the strait by Indonesia, Malaysia, Singapore and Thailand. Navies of these countries engage in intelligence exchange and real-time information sharing, thereby enabling effective response to maritime threats. Now, why does this matter to India? 55% of India's trade passes through South China Sea and the Malacca Strait. Thus, cooperation in this region will enhance maritime awareness, support counter-piracy operations and strengthen ability to respond to natural disasters in the Bay of Bengal. Both countries are also likely to enhance cooperation on critical minerals. Take the case of nickel, for instance. Indonesia is the world's largest producer of nickel. India imports over 80% of its ferronickel, which is critical for steel production from Indonesia. Nickel is also crucial for lithium-ion batteries used in electric vehicles.
During his visit, Ramayana and cultural diplomacy was also center stage, as there is a significant Hindu presence in history, including Ramayana in Indonesia.
En route to the temple complex, Prime Minister Modi was greeted by hundreds of local residents. As part of the ceremonial welcome, the Suryo Kenkono Arts Association presented a classical Jogjakarta dance performance inspired by characters from the Ramayana. The performance also highlighted the enduring cultural and civilizational links between India and Indonesia through one of the region's most cherished artistic traditions. Prime Minister Modi was accompanied by President Prabowo Subianto. Well, India and Indonesia unveiled a commemorative plaque marking the launch of a joint initiative for the conservation of cultural heritage at the Prambanan Temple complex, underscoring the two countries' shared commitment to preserving their rich civilizational legacy and deepening cultural cooperation. Addressing the gathering, Prime Minister Narendra Modi said his visit would further strengthen the long-standing friendship between India and Indonesia. Prime Minister described culture as a bridge that connects societies, fosters mutual understanding and builds enduring trust between nations.
चाहे उज्जैन महाकाल का पुनर्निर्माण हो या आज यहाँ पर आकर के करीब 1200 साल पुराना ब्रह्मा, विष्णु, महेश इन यादों को साथ जुड़ी हुई एक हमारी सांस्कृतिक विरासत का पुनरुद्धार और उसका रिनोवेशन का काम, उसका प्रारंभ करने का सौभाग्य भी मुझे मिला। मैं अपने आप में बहुत बड़ा भाग्यशाली मानता हूं। यहाँ के जीवन में, यहाँ की बातों में, यहाँ की हवा में एक संस्कृति की खुशबू है, वो खुशबू जो हम भारत की धरती पर पल पल अनुभव करते हैं। ये खुशबू हमारी सांस्कृतिक विरासत ये अपने आप में अपनत्व से जोड़ती है। 1200 साल मैं यहाँ के लोगों का हृदय से धन्यवाद करता हूं कि उन्होंने इतनी बड़ी विरासत को जिस प्रकार से संभाला है, जिस प्रकार से संवारा है और श्रद्धा भाव से किया है। इसलिए मैं इंडोनेशिया के नागरिकों का भी और अब तक रहे हुए सभी शासकों का भी मैं हृदय से अभिनंदन करता हूं।
Well, India's assistance in the conservation and restoration of the Prambanan Temple in Yogyakarta reaffirms the deep civilizational and cultural ties between India and Indonesia. Located near Yogyakarta on Indonesia's Java Island, Prambanan is the country's largest Hindu temple complex dating back to the 9th century AD. Built in the 9th century, the Prambanan temple was constructed using volcanic stone, a material abundantly available in Java. UNESCO has inscribed the Prambanan temple compounds as a World Heritage Site, recognizing them as the finest expression of classical Shaivite art and architecture in Indonesia. The temple complex was also designated as Indonesia's national cultural property in 1998.
Well, this is where we leave you now. As we end our newscast, we share with you scenes from the Grand Jagannath Rath Yatra 2026, which has officially commenced in Puri, Odisha. Millions of people from across India and the globe have gathered for a glimpse of Lord Jagannath, Lord Balbhadra and Goddess Subhadra. Watch the incredible spirit of faith as Puri transforms into a fortress with high-level security and state police ensuring a safe 9-day festival. From traditional Odissi and Vrindavan Krishna Vesh dancers performing in the rain to unique offerings like a 10-foot incense stick from Mysore and stunning sand art by Sudarshan Patnaik, witness the ultimate celebration of devotion.